Welcome to the Hope Hotline, and thank you so much for joining us today. And on Wednesday, I gave a prediction that absolutely was accurate. The Georgia shooter, the 14-year-old, did I not say the FBI knew and heard about him
You
prior
sure
to?
did. You said it.
Thus the reason.
Yep.
They absolutely did. It's all a part of the agenda. It's all a part of the plan to try and take our guns. And that might take me off of Facebook. That's why you must go to Rumble.
Correct.
I mean, because Facebook is just like they are jerking our chain, which I don't really care. I mean, I hate them, so I will use them as long as I can. But they are horrible people. Facebook in general is horrible people. But I will say this: like, if anybody doesn't start waking up and seeing the propaganda and the agenda that is being put before us, you need to wake up. And what they're doing is they're using people who are vulnerable and manipulating them. Like that kid, the shooter for Trump, that kid was used.
Yep.
And there's no doubt in my mind that the powers that be made that kid think that he was like going to be some operative and all this other stuff. And I'm not saying I know that for a fact. That's my opinion. Yep. But his life, he has no life now because he was manipulated, in my opinion. And that's very, very dangerous. Yep. I mean, to me, this is so sad because if the powers that be that knew that this kid was capable of doing what he did, somebody should have stepped in, helped that child, and preserved his life as well as the ones that were lost or injured. I mean, this is not rocket science here. Nope. And so for me, it's just so disheartening that something that could have been avoided was just ignored or just let to ride along and see how it all played out. And it just makes me sick. It really makes me sick that we don't have a government that's protecting the people as they were supposed to do, but they are like enabling an agenda. It's so sickening to me. Yep. So sickening. Peanut Gallery, you can put yourselves on if you want to say anything. I don't mind. You can. I mean, this is an impromptu thing. Yeah. But I'm wearing my shirt because I mean it.
I know.
They just need to be like, we need to get rid of 100%. FBI, CIA,
start fresh.
All of them. Right. They just need to be dissolved because they're doing nothing but causing. They are our. What does Russia have that is their KGB? That's all they are. They're the KGB for the United States. Yep. They're nothing more than that. They are working for the government, and they're not working for the people. So.
Right. I think that's exactly what it is. They're not working for us. Literally working against us.
Yeah, that's like the purpose of right. It's the whole and that it used to not. I would say I don't know how long. Obviously, there's good people in the FBI. There's really good people, but on the whole, I think if you are going to take an order and it's a bad order and you do it, understand this: you are eventually going to be your own demise.
Yep.
If you think that it will never touch you, you are sorely mistaken, because you are like enabling bad behavior that will ultimately trickle down to you. You think that, oh, it's just happening to the citizens and I'm separate from that. No, dude, you are a citizen, and eventually you won't be with the FBI or they turn on you, because it always happens like that.
Always.
So all you're doing by enabling that behavior is ultimately going to ruin you. And people don't realize that.
I know. I mean, how many times have we seen it? Like, it happens. They eat their own all the time.
All the time. If people would say, if they were given an order that they knew was wrong and said, I'm not doing that order. No, I'm not. And if everybody did that,
right. I know.
It would stop.
Yep.
They wouldn't lose their job.
Right.
But it would stop. And even if you did lose your job, it would be honorable.
Yep. Sure would.
I mean, I don't know if anybody watched Tom's podcast last night, but Joe Altman was on there, and he is like, he's been ruined because he's a genius, but he's been ruined. Basically, he's Giuliani, Trump, him, who's the other guy? They're all in the same lawsuit because of Dominion voting machines, and he actually exposed Dominion voting machines. He's the COO now of Frank Speech, which is Mike Lindell's platform.
Okay.
They just went public with the NASDAQ. Yeah, like he's taken them to this. I mean, he's a genius. He's brilliant. People need to, what he said about the, people need to go and watch Tom's podcast, because what he said about the election this year, staggering.
Okay.
It's like people need to open their eyes up and see the truth. And what he said was I was kind of shocked. So, but outside of God, which we all know, outside of God, it's a miracle. Just like his brains not being blown out at that rally, that was a miracle. God's hand was on him. The same thing goes with the next election, and anybody who thinks otherwise is crazy. It will be a miracle if Trump wins, and it will be a miracle if his life isn't, if they don't try and take his life while he is in office. Right. We just need to be praying a hedge of protection around J.D. Vance, Trump, and all of the ones that are like him, even like Michael Flynn, any pastors that are standing up for these guys. Like Rodney is constantly speaking out. Pastor Rodney, there's plenty of strong, there's plenty. There's not, the majority are not, but there are really great pastors like Artur Pulaski who are making some big, huge strides to wake up the Christian world, including my husband. And they need lots of prayer too, because Joe Altman, they're coming after him to put him away. They've tried to take everything from him. He has nothing. He's lost everything. That's how much, but that's what our forefathers did.
Yeah.
It was 3%. 3% of the people that lived in the United States when they first came over, only 3% made the stand. And those 3% made us free.
Yep. Yeah. That's all it takes.
And it takes a small percentage of people rising up and standing up and being willing to say, if I don't have freedom, I have nothing. So it's not worth it. I'll lose everything to keep my freedom. And people have to be willing to do that. But the love of money is the root of all evil. And most people won't do that because, God forbid, the standard of living that they have become comfortable with better not be touched. So that goes from people who don't have a lot to the middle class, to the upper middle class, to the rich. Because most people think, oh, that's just the rich. No, it's not. It's not. It's anybody that hangs on to the comfortable lifestyle that they live in and aren't willing to, do what it takes. So,
You know what's crazy is that according to the 2022 Gallup poll, it's 7.1% of American adults identify as LGBT, and 0.6% identify as transgender. And you would think that number is like 70%. How they're in every, you know what I mean? Like it's in every single building. Yeah. But like how it's on every television show. It's on every, so that small percentage.
It's part of the agenda.
Absolutely.
And the propaganda.
Right.
It's to make people feel like what you just said.
Right.
There is half of the population is gay or bisexual or whatever, trans, and the other half are just heteros.
Right.
It's not even
close.
Not even close.
Yeah, because that number might even be wrong. But that shows like it doesn't, the percentage of something as
so
if there's
small.
a percentage. And if we just did the same thing and stood up for it, especially in COVID when that all came out, like, man, what a missed opportunity for us as a whole. Thank God for people like you guys and Rodney and all the ones that did stand up. So the ones that were kind of left behind found a home, So it doesn't take much.
No, it doesn't. It's just like that agenda right there.
Right.
It's just a small percentage of that agenda. It's actually grown because it used to be it was like not even 1%.
Yes. Yep.
Back in the day. Like I remember Tom talking about it, and he would even preach about it in the pulpit.
Yeah.
Like little over 10 years ago. Okay. It'd be 0.1%.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't even, it's not that small, but he would be it wasn't even 1%.
Right.
And that's how much a small percentage of people, if they become like-minded and like take on a cause, how big of a win, you can make it.
Right. Yep.
You can win.
Yep.
You can definitely win, but we can't let evil win. That's for sure.
Amen.
So
No way.
that won't work. But yeah, I don't feel bad for the family of that young man. I do somewhat feel bad for that young man because, I mean, he's 14.
Like Allison's
He's an
10,
idiot.
you know, like 4 years
You're
older
an
than
idiot
her.
at 14.
Totally.
And if he would have just had good parents,
I know.
his life would have been just so different. And his
100%.
parents can say, "No, you don't understand what we." Bull crap.
Not that level.
No way. I don't
way.
buy it. At a very young age, 0 to 3 is the most important and pivotal time for your child. What were you doing between 0 and 3 with that child?
Right.
Was there discipline in the home? Was there love? Was there enabling bad behavior? What is that? Because good parenting, the word is true.
Yep.
And if you apply the word, you'll win every time. And I don't, obviously that's probably not the case, but I'm like, I don't feel bad for the parents. In fact, I think that they should be charged with him, in my opinion. I do, because it's at what point are we going to make parents responsible for their kids' behavior?
Yeah.
I just, I mean, I just think to a certain extent we should.
Yeah.
If we did, parents would parent.
That's what I mean. I know.
They wouldn't expect the school system to do it,
Right.
which is insanity, or the daycare.
Right.
They would actually parent their kid if they thought that there was a consequence for not parenting their child.
Right. Absolutely.
It's so sad. 14 years old being tried as an adult. Can you imagine he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison?
Yep.
He has had no life whatsoever.
None. Nope. Not even an adult.
They say, I have not really watched very much about this kid. I have not even seen his face, but I've heard. I listened to something. It might have been on the news, on the radio while I was driving. But it said that a girl that was a friend of his, just said he was very quiet and to himself. And that just breaks my heart.
Yeah.
That breaks my heart because it's about to be really quiet and really to himself for the rest of his life.
The rest of it, I know. That's it. I know. That's why my heart hurts for certain people in the prison. I know almost all of them are there because whatever. But if they had great parents from a young age, would they even be in there?
No, because the statistic shows that most of the men in prison have no father.
Right.
They either grew up with no father or because he was absent in the home, or he was in the home, but he was absentee in the home, whether it be alcoholic, drugs, philandering, or came home, worked, and went straight to bed or straight to sleep and had really nothing to do with the kids. Yeah. That's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
So you're left to your own demise.
Yep.
Why have a kid?
I know.
I'm like, why don't we think about not procreating?
Right.
As much as we think about, should I marry this person? I mean, to me, it's that big of a deal. You
totally
better
agree.
make sure that you are capable of raising a child properly before you just start popping them out, because they're not like a puppy. A lot of people get puppies or kitties or bunnies, and then they aren't babies anymore, and then they put them in the pound.
Right.
Okay, you can't do that with a baby.
Correct.
They're all cute
Yeah.
till they cry every night and they demand things from you. Because guess what? They are not independent. They are
Babies.
dependent on you.
Right.
And if you can't do that, you should not have them. But a lot of people they just have them. They pop them out. They with a boyfriend, and
Yep.
they don't know if they're. I mean, the odds are they're not going to be with that person.
Right.
They're not married to that person.
Right. Probably for a reason.
Yeah, but
You know?
that's teenagers are having children.
Right.
They think that they're mature enough, and they're just not mature enough. Barely. Listen, I was 24. I still getting in fights.
Yes,
I
you
had
are.
no business raising a child.
Yeah.
I was an idiot. And I had friends doing the same thing, and they had kids.
Yeah.
And grandma, they would drop
Yeah.
the kids off with grandma,
No way.
and we'd go out and pound. Pound the pavement and faces.
Oh my gosh.
Not that bad, but still. You looked at us wrong, you might get it. I don't know. You're an idiot. What are you having a kid for?
What are you doing?
A lot of people don't try to have kids, but they just
That's
happen.
yeah.
No, that's true, Sarah.
Yeah, a lot of teenagers it'll never happen to me.
And thank
That's a
God
good
they don't get
point.
An abortion, you
Right,
know, if
right.
they're going to bring them into this world, then
Yep.
but there's so many other people that don't have kids, that if you're not ready to be a parent,
Right.
someone else is.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Don't be selfish. Give that child to somebody that will absolutely be able to take care of it like it deserves to be taken care of. Don't be selfish and say, I can't give this baby up. I love it too much. If you love something and you know you're not capable of raising it, then you give it to somebody who can because you love it that much.
Right. And that pain doesn't go away just by, ending a life. Like you don't stop thinking about it the second that happens. It will
know
stay
too
with
many
you.
people.
Me too. And it stays with you forever until you get healed from Jesus. So that's your only option.
And definitely the Lord can do that.
100% he can.
100%.
Right.
And listen, you should seek that. If somebody's had an abortion, run to the cross
Yep.
and run to forgiveness,
Yep.
because that's like done.
Yep.
If you forgive yourself, because He's forgiven you. I mean, there's no point in carrying that.
No.
There's nothing good. You'll see that baby again anyway.
Yep.
If you're a Christian,
Yep.
you'll see that baby
Yes, you
again.
will.
But yeah, don't carry that either, because that's no good either. And a lot of people do. They walk around with so much shame and guilt over that
For decades and decades and decades.
that they're not even capable of doing anything
Correct.
for Him.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
don't be bound by that. Satan's a great deceiver, so you got to be careful with that too. So,
Yep. All around.
but I feel so bad. I feel so bad for those families. I mean, it's just heartbreaking.
I know.
And everybody kind of looks at it and goes, "Oh, that's a shame." But if it was you,
I know.
and
Oh,
Tom
I know.
always says this, and it's something I've always said and believed. But I love he says this on the podcast. It's always different until it happens to you.
Correct.
And then when it happens to you, you expect to have more compassion, or you expect people to give you a different than what you've given them.
Right.
And but no, people don't do that. People, and that's one of the reasons why people don't pray for people or don't stand in the gap, or
Yep.
they idly sit by while things go on in the world because they're like, not touching my life.
Selfish. You only think about yourself. It is.
Why not?
It's a
I remember
selfish-
people telling me with COVID, they were like, COVID's worked out great for me. I get to stay home. I don't have to go to work. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I know.
COVID's worked out great for you. Only all your rights have been taken from you.
I know. It's like a brainwashing thing.
I literally.
Then go find something you love to do. If you hate going to work, go find something else to do. Like you're not married to a job. Go find something. Ask God, what am I supposed to be doing? I hate this. Go, and then you'll love your life. You'll be so sad the next time they try to do something.
Well, my thing is
know?
like what I said is, well, I'm glad it's worked out for you, but there's like 60% of small businesses have gone out of business, and it hasn't worked out for them, and they've lost like generational restaurants, things that their family established. It hasn't worked out for them, but great. I'm so
good
glad
for
it's
you.
worked out for you.
So
So
glad
good.
you can sit around in your pajamas.
Yeah, I'm so
Zoom
happy.
meetings.
But that's the mindset.
It
Hasn't
is.
touched me,
Hasn't
so
touched me.
it's okay.
Right,
Bull
right.
crap, it's okay.
No.
Tell that to them, and that's where it just
I know.
like, oh my gosh, like I'm not
No
saying that
compassion.
I'm not saying that we are compassionate toward everything, but we
Right.
should be compassionate toward the right things.
Yeah. 100%.
Instead of being like,
Yeah.
didn't touch my life. So
Ugh, so yucky.
so sad and so sorry,
Right.
but
Right.
glad it's not me.
Right.
No,
Yep.
not gonna. That's not good either. So not good. So
Not good.
wearing this proud.
I know. I love it. Are we still on Facebook, YouTube?
Might not
so
be.
far,
I
so
don't really
good.
care.
So far, so good. I haven't
So
found
you
us
wanna-
yet. Yeah.
You want to do the thing?
I do.
And then we'll go into the other thing.
Yes. Okay. So, just so you know, if you're on Rumble right now, we posted the TLP link from last night. So just if you right click on it, you can open in a new tab and it might start playing. So just go pause it, but keep that saved because obviously if you've been here, the live chat will disappear. But if you're watching the replay, I'll put it in the comments. It's in the comments. Perfect. But also the Tom Lapely, that's podcast. That's all you got to search in the Rumble chat and you'll find it. It's from last night. And today is the 6th. So it was the 5th of September, 2024. Whenever you're watching this, you can go back and see what he had to say. So don't miss that. Stay in tune. Know what's going on because it's September. So we have a couple more months until we get to the election. And if you kind of can sense what's going on, Pastor Tom does a lot of research. And so instead of you having to dig in and try to figure out like what's right, what's wrong. He's been doing this a long time. So go listen, pay attention, have your finger on the pulse, especially in this atmosphere we're in right now. It's election time. So nothing will catch you off guard when you kind of have your finger on the pulse. But anyways, okay. So Facebook, if you're on there, you can come over to Rumble. Sarah just invited you over. Talia posted the link, so it's easy to find. If you're on Rumble, hey guys, we've got Sharon on, and obviously Talia and Sarah on. Sean is ignoring us today because he's busy, but that's fine. Just kidding, Sean. Galina's there, and Anne-Marie, and Fern is watching today. So hi, everybody. We're glad you're on. As you pop on, just let us know you're watching. If you watch the replay, you can always write the comments in there so we know where you're at and what you're, who you are and where you're watching from. Black Robe's up and going, of course. We got YouTube up and going. And again, if you subscribe to YouTube, you'll catch the little notifications. I get them on my phone from Gmail, just letting me know that we went live. That'll help if you kind of forget, because it is 3:00 in the middle of the day. So just in case you forget, if you didn't put your alarm on your phone, you can catch it that way. And send in your questions to askhope at hopehotline.com. Again, if any of these questions that we talk about today trigger a different question, just real quick, open up your little app, send the question in. If it's a simple one, just send the simple question. But if it's something that has to do with like you or a situation that you were in, if you give us a little bit of background information, sometimes that helps us answer it, more specific to what you mean. Sometimes it's just the way you read it. You're not really sure which direction it is, but you guys have been great at sending in questions, and we just need some more. Keep sending them. We love them. And of course, we got our merch available, and it is always available at foundationchurchfl.com. You click shop. It's also available on our merch store. So if you come on Sunday, we are available. It's open before and after, so you can get your merch, and everything's in there. Foundation merch, TLP merch. We got hats, we got mugs, we've got all the good stuff. We got some new stuff in there too, so definitely want to check that out. Website and online. And I think that's it for today.
Cool, babe.
Coming back to you.
That is awesome. We got Talia back.
We do. Good old Talia.
Super happy about that.
Yes, she's doing great.
Yeah.
Just a trooper.
She's a beast.
She is.
I'm ready to eat wings.
Yeah.
Please.
She just wants her wings.
My
No more
wings
mashed
up.
potatoes and mac and cheese.
Make you a wing smoothie.
Ew.
Ugh.
How much longer before you can have wings?
I don't know.
Ask you go back. When do you go
I'll
back?
go back Tuesday.
Okay, ask them. They might say you can.
Okay.
What about Heather? Where's our dentist?
Heather's probably going to say she can't because
Yeah.
of the stitches.
Yeah.
Because you can't get certain. You got to be super careful how you
yep.
chew and getting that crap in there.
Yep.
She's already been asking about her washing her mouth out.
Yeah.
Trust me, she's on it. So glad to have you back.
I'm
Yes.
glad.
You did so good.
Thank you.
Super proud of you. So let's do the first question. The first question is, do you think binge watching a TV series is bad for you? And I say 100% I do believe it is bad for you. Know that there are going to be people who are bothered by that.
Not on this peanut gallery.
What?
Courtney
What?
probably is, because Courtney told me not to say anything
Yeah.
bad about binge watching.
She did.
100%. I think it's horrible. And I've never done it. Oh, well, that's not true. I did. I don't think it was for a weekend. I think it was for a day. I had never discovered that 90 Day Fiancé.
Oh, that'll get you.
That'll get you.
That'll
This
get
was like
ya.
3 years ago. And I don't know why. I just said, I'm not going to do anything today. It was a Saturday. I'm not doing anything today.
Yeah.
And somehow I was flicking around on the TV. I usually watch Andy Griffith.
Okay.
And I was flicking around, and that was on. I was like, what's that? And hook, line, and sinker.
I
My
know.
kids were making fun of me. They're like, are you still watching them? I'm like, I'm embarrassed to say I'm sucked in.
Out what happened.
I know now. Yeah, you're like, well.
I'm sucked in. But nothing was accomplished that day,
Yeah.
spiritually speaking, or within my home.
Yeah.
Not one daggum thing. Probably no dish, no laundry, no vacuuming, no floors of any kind were done. No bathrooms. All I did was binge watch. And I'm not saying, like, I don't think it's good at all, ever. I mean, nothing was accomplished that day for me that I can ever like gain back or that I can pull from. I mean, except for when these weirdos are on, like, how are these people, like,
How do they cast them?
Did you watch like from the beginning when they were first meeting? Like, was that the first episode you watched? Because
No.
See, those are the best. Like, it's so awkward. It's so embarrassing.
really?
Oh, like once it gets too nitty gritty, they're like so much drama and they're so mad at each other and they're like, it's almost like, ugh. But like when they're first meeting and they're like, it's the most embarrassing thing. And
You
that's
get like secondhand.
secondhand embarrassment, 100%.
Really?
Yeah, that's where you should have started. So
Well, I don't know what part. It was, I think, 90 Day Fiancé, where the people go over to the other country.
the other way.
The other way?
Uh-huh.
That's the ones that I saw. That's why
Okay.
I sucked in, because I was like, why would you
Why?
leave the United States of America
Yes.
to go and live in a subpar country
Right.
that doesn't even have a toilet?
Right.
No.
I know.
they go?
Because they're
All
in
over
love.
the place,
Oh,
girl.
just everywhere?
It was
Everywhere.
everywhere. It was like, I don't know.
might
I
do
was
that for
watching
the
like
plot.
5 different relationships.
Yeah.
And none of them were in really that great of countries that I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
oh,
Yeah.
wow, of course you want to go here.
Right.
Like Greece, of course.
Oh, yeah.
That's beautiful. No, this is like
Yeah.
Bulgaria. Places like that. I'm
Yeah.
sitting there going, Indonesia.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Right. Like third world country.
Third world countries.
Yeah. Some of them are bad.
Don't catch me there.
Like they walk in and it's like the floor is dirt and they're like
100%.
Oh, like that's where you live.
No.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
some of the places I was just like, what are you
Why?
thinking?
I know.
Why would you do this to yourself?
Because they're in love.
And there is nobody in the United States of America that is even close to the individual you're with, because I'm looking at them and they ain't that great.
I know.
And some of them are criminals.
True.
They were criminals. And I'm like, you can't get a criminal over here? Are you kidding me? They're a dime a dozen.
Literally.
Well, reality shows aren't really reality.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Yeah,
it's all
that's
for the plot.
true.
It's all for the
They
plot.
probably got paid. There's other things we're not taking into account.
Yeah, they do get
They
paid.
definitely get paid.
They did get paid. That
famous
is
for it.
100% true.
Yeah, and they get famous. They get
Sign me
yeah.
up. How
Right.
much?
Oh my gosh.
Well, the binge watch you.
Oh, I forgot. Mary.
Oh my gosh. I just, for me, spiritually speaking, I'm like, there are so many other things that you could be doing with your time, because all that binge watching of crapola, when you desperately need the word, it ain't there. And like, there's just so many things that you could be doing with your time that are, just so powerful and worthwhile. And for me, it's like, why would you binge watch something when, if you were listening to a teaching, or if you were reading the Bible, or binge watching, like I've binge watched Andrew Womack's TV thingies, like I've binge watched that. But that's helped me go into hospital rooms and lay hands on people and stand in faith for things, and radically change my home as well as myself. And like, you can't do, when you binge watch crap, like it does nothing of any value for you but to sedate you for a period of time. And that's, I guess, okay, but the word can do that far superior. And then when you're done with it, you feel 100 times better. Whereas like after watching that nonsense, like how do you feel better?
Yeah.
I just don't get it. Like you can't use any of that stuff. I mean, you might be able to use it if you're preaching a message about what not to be, but I mean, outside of that, I mean, I don't foresee it. Like if your family gets sick, you ain't gonna be able to use any of that stuff to help get them well. You're not gonna pull from the well of 90 Day Fiance and help get them healed.
If you watch like Grey's Anatomy, maybe you could Drake somebody if they.
Outside of that, I think maybe I
I'm
don't know.
just trying to help a sister out here. Really.
Yeah, I
Poor
don't know.
Courtney.
Poor Courtney. I just say to me, like a lot of people battle anxiety and fear.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
How is binge watching helping anxiety and fear?
Well, it does numb you for the time that you're watching it, but when
Like the little band aid.
Oh, okay.
Put yourself in
Really?
a different reality. In a
yeah,
different
you're somewhere
world.
else.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not having to think about your
Yeah.
Totally
problems.
coping. Yep.
Coping mechanism.
Yep. Coping.
Definitely.
Huh. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, they are.
I don't really battle anxiety and fear,
Right.
so that makes sense to me, I guess. But to me, like after it's done, what do you got? Nothing. But if you had binge watched
Right.
or binge watched or binge listened to teachings
Right.
on how to overcome anxiety and fear.
Right. Define binge.
What are we saying a binge? Is that like
Is that a full day?
episodes?
2 days?
2
An
days.
episode? 2 episodes?
If somebody's watching,
Somebody's asking
if
on
somebody's
Rumble.
watching something for multiple days,
Oh, don't ask my mom.
okay.
Do not ask my
what a waste.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Courtney.
What if it's The Chosen?
Oh.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan of The Chosen.
No? Did you watch it? You didn't.
I've
watch
only
it all.
watched the
She
first
said
season.
no.
I
You
can't
can't say you're not a
watch it.
fan.
It's not biblically. It's not even. In fact, I mean, they.
It's kind of like the Message version
Right.
in
It is
in a
like
TV
the
series.
Inspired.
It's inspired.
rendering.
Rendering.
Bye.
That's the word. I was looking for that.
It's inspired of the Bible.
They pretty much say that it's
There's one
Who's they?
episode
Who's
that's
they,
wrong.
first?
the chosen. The
Yeah.
people who, they've
Are they
said it
Mormon?
is.
I think they're Mormon.
I don't think they are. I think that came out and that they were just had hired Mormon filmmakers or something.
Okay.
I think it
They're
was. I don't think they are.
connected to, apparently, this Hollow app, which Jonathan Rumi, who plays Jesus, is a big proponent.
Can you hear her? I want to make sure you
Of
can
this
hear her.
App.
Uh-huh.
He's Catholic, supposedly,
Yeah. Jesus was.
as is Mark Wahlberg, but Marky Mark, still love him. Sorry.
Sorry.
I like Mark. He's
I
a
like
great
Marky Mark,
actor.
too.
He is.
Great actor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's out there proclaiming Jesus' name
Yeah. Yep. He sure is.
and to be a follower of him.
Yep.
So, and to pray to him. So,
I think that The Chosen has done some good. I wouldn't call it gospel. I wouldn't say you don't need to read your Bible and just
Right.
watch The Chosen.
Right.
But like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that it's definitely drawn people in that were like, oh, wow.
We should binge watch it tonight.
it's never going to happen.
No.
Never going to happen.
There's too many
I see,
seasons
but I've
now.
heard a
You
lot
need
of
at least 2
negative.
days.
I've heard a lot
The
of
first season.
people that I respect that are strong believers and stuff like that. Not that Sarah's not. That's not what I'm saying. When I say this, because it's going to sound like I am saying opposite of you.
Well, I like
which
the Chosen
I don't feel
too,
like.
so it's the same. She's saying it to me
No,
too.
exactly. I don't think you can't be a strong believer and like The Chosen, but I've heard a lot of people that I respect and they're like, nope.
Yeah, Sarah and I like the Message
It's a
version
good
too. So
alternative.
Right.
It's a good alternative to 90 Day Fiance.
I mean,
though.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
I
a
will
better
say that is
direction.
correct.
Definitely a better direction.
Anything's better than that. Trust me.
Oh my
I know. I'm ashamed to say.
So did we?
I'm embarrassed to say.
So what's
I've
Hope's,
wasted time.
What's Hope's binge? What is that? What does that look like to you? More than one episode? More than 2? Like what would be like? What is like? Okay, that's too much. After an episode, 45
Anything
minutes.
over like 3 or 4 hours of the constant thing. Like what are you watching something for 3+ hours for?
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. Like, what are you really needing to like remove yourself from reality that long?
My only question is are you doing God 3 to 4 hours too? Where's your priorities? What's
Facts.
the most important to you?
Yeah.
Like, is your spiritual walk? Like, the people always wonder, I pray, but nothing ever happens.
Yeah.
Why doesn't, like, I believe. Well, no, I'm going to say, no, you don't. Because the thing is we take in so much of the world. We take more of the world in
Yep.
than we do of him. And then we want the results of putting more of him into us and less of the world and get those. It don't work like that. Whatever you put in is coming out. So you put in a lot of the world, you're going to get a lot of the world, and you're going to get the results the world gets. You want God kind of results, then you put in God kind of time. Otherwise, don't come and cry to me and say, why? Why does this keep happening? Or why don't I pray, but I don't get this? Or
Here's the thing: people that are doing it, they're not gonna come cry to you because they're going right to the source.
Yeah.
So
Yep. They're
They're
done.
watching
That's
90
the
Day
trick,
Fiance.
right? Exactly.
I just I don't have like, for me, and it may sound heartless and cold, but I don't care. I really don't care. Because if you're that dumb, then you're that dumb. It's the truth. Like, you want to see like mountains move, but you absolutely do nothing to make mountains move. And then you want to cry about it. Don't come to me. Like, I'm the wrong one. I am like, ain't nobody got time for that. That's me right there. I don't have time for that. Like,
Yeah. Put the work in.
put the work in.
Absolutely.
Like, turn off the freaking TV, turn off the scrolling, and do what it takes to get the job done.
Yeah.
And then you are going to, when you start seeing mountains move, you're going to regret all the time you wasted on things that just were not important. They're not important. It's like, what a powerful thing to reach out to somebody who feels like there's no hope in their life.
Yep.
And you be the thing that radically changes all of that. But the only thing that makes that happen is knowing the word.
Yep.
And it's like, I was talking to somebody this week who, I was talking to somebody who is having issues with a friend, and they called me up to find out, to talk to me about it. And the great thing is like the word just starts flowing out, right?
Yeah.
Because you put the time in, and while the time I was done with that conversation, the person was like, wow, okay, so I've taken notes of what you said, and I'm meeting with this person, and this is going to change everything for them, okay? Because what they thought they knew, they didn't know.
Yeah.
If I didn't spend that time, then that wouldn't have happened.
Right.
And for me, I'm like, nothing else matters. It just doesn't matter. Like, for me, that's so valuable. And the person that they were trying to reach, whether or not they received it or not, they had what they needed in order to do that.
Yeah. Amen.
And I'm just like, we waste a lot of time, people.
Yes, we do.
And we always say, well, I'll start tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's like dieting. It don't work like that.
True.
Don't put off to tomorrow what you can do today. Start now. That's how it shows how serious you are. Tom always makes fun of people who start their diet on Monday. Okay? It's like Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'll start it on Monday.
Yeah.
Start it now.
Yeah.
That shows how serious you are about whatever you're believing you're going to do, you know? And so, what are you saying, Vanessa? Did you say I'm starting my diet on Monday?
No. I say I start my diet every morning.
Every morning.
And then you see food.
And then whatever happens, happens. Yeah. No, but Hope, you made a really good point. You like, why are you binge watching? Because typically people that are binge watching, that I know, when they're honest, they say that I need like, I'm not drinking, so I need an escape. Like, I need to not think about all the stuff going on in my life. But like you said, once the show ends, you have to think about all the stuff that's going on in your life. So there's other ways to do this. And like you watching 90 Day Fiance for 3 hours, like you'll.
Oh, no, I watched it way longer than that, just so you know.
no.
In full
I wasn't saying you.
transparency.
I wasn't saying you. I'm saying
Okay.
like a person watching it for 3
For
hours,
example.
you leave and you don't feel like fulfilled. You feel like, hey, maybe your brain's like been dumped and you're like, at least my life's better than theirs. But when you watch 3 hours of Andrew Womack or, you know, somebody
Yeah.
raising the dead, like you get out of there and you're like, all right, like,
Okay, who can I
feel empowered.
Yeah,
you feel like,
empowered.
okay, Lord,
Yes.
send them my way.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Who,
So try
Who
it.
you going to bring my way?
Yeah.
You know, and you look forward
Yeah.
to the opportunity that you know that's coming,
Right.
and then you know you have the answer.
Yeah. You don't feel
The
like
other
that.
way, you like want to run the opposite direction because you're like,
Right.
I'm not prepared.
Right. Absolutely.
When the word tells us to be prepared in season and out of season, then that means in anything that
Yeah.
any opportunity that comes your way, spiritually speaking, the answer should always be yes.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. And don't underestimate, like, if you're new to this and you've been putting the work in, don't underestimate that, like, in that right moment, God will do exactly what he
Yeah.
did for Hope. And you'll just start flowing out of you. It happened to me last night at the dealership. Like, it came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, it's just like, this guy said something and I didn't agree with what he said. And so I just explained why. And I said how it's worked in my life. And he was all ears. Like he wanted to hear everything I had to say about it. And at the end, he's like, I really like talking to you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know, because it's Jesus.
And there's hope.
There's hope. Yeah, absolutely.
Always.
I know. So don't underestimate. If you're putting the work in and you aren't binging and you are watching 3 hours and you're like, yeah, but just when it's time, it will come out. It's already in there. So it'll just flow out of you like that.
Yeah. And some people will say, well, I don't binge. You're not really talking to me because I don't binge watch anything.
Yeah.
How long do you spend? You should check your phone and see how long you've been on your phone
Where we're
scrolling.
going. Yep. Yep.
Because you're binging that.
Right.
I mean, maybe it's not a TV show, which I find myself with my mukbang. I love mukbang. I don't know. I have a problem. What are you gonna say?
I can't watch those right now.
Oh, I know. Well, I do when I'm hungry. I
was
do
gonna
when I'm fasting, when I'm going to sleep.
Glutton for punishment, not.
It's not torturing. I'm like literally like
Feeding
vicariously living through them.
You're like imagining.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know.
Well, okay.
I just literally feel it so at peace when I'm watching it. Like I'll find myself going like this. Okay, one more. I give myself
The
like 10,
dopamine.
15 minutes of mukbangs, and then I'm like, okay,
That's it.
that's it.
Moving on.
Moving on, because most people, all they do is scroll,
Right.
And or they're a person that likes to figure things out, so they're always on their computer, like digging deep into the next thing that leads them to absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
They now know whatever that is. It's like, is that relevant to the kingdom? Like, figure out what's relevant to the kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Like discipling,
Yeah.
not the weirdo crapola, but like discipling, winning the lost, laying hands on the sick.
Yeah.
Use your imagination. One of the things I love about what Andrew Womack said is, before he raised anybody from the dead, he literally read over and over and over again in the Word where Jesus raised people from the dead.
Yep.
Even Elijah, or Elisha. Was it Elisha? I believe it's Elisha. I think both of them actually, but I think it's Elisha, where he laid on the boy and he came back to life. I mean, he read everywhere in the Word where someone came back to life through being raised from the dead. Yeah. And in so much that he started using his imagination, because the imagination is powerful and we're warned against it throughout Scripture. We're warned about it in every place but one place. And even that's a little iffy whether or not we're warned against it. So what he did is he used his imagination and he started imagining every story where he was the person raising that person from the dead. Like when Jesus called Lazarus out, he actually imagined himself being the one calling Lazarus out, come forth. And eventually he started dreaming it. Like for me, I sit there and go, and I have done the same thing. And I sit there and go, I want to see those results. But most people, they don't even do any of this. They don't put any time in, but they want to see the results of all these things. And when he finally did raise somebody from the dead, it happened so unusual for him that it kind of didn't even take him. He was like, well, that's what that's like. But he had done it so many times, even in his dreams, that it wasn't that shocking for him because it was reality to him through his imagination. Yeah. And so for me, I'm like, that's what we really, what a force to be reckoned with if we actually lived, eat, breathed, slept, drank the Word.
Yeah. You're right.
And one of those was his son, his own son.
Who was in the morgue with the
Yeah.
toe tag
Yeah.
on for 5 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're right. Elisha did lay up on the child, putting his mouth to his mouth, eyes
7
to
times.
eyes, and stretched out himself out upon him. Flesh of the child became warm. And then Elijah stretched himself up 3 times and cried out to the Lord.
But Elisha did it 7 times, if I remember
Okay.
right. Because it was significant about number 7.
Okay. I'm scrolling. But yeah. So yeah. The child sneezed 7 times and then the child opened his eyes. So
I don't know. It's super important.
Yep.
Binge watching. Nah.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about it? And now you're going to feel really bad because if you go against what I said, you're going to be like, I don't want to say. Maybe you don't want to say.
Anybody?
I can't do it because it doesn't make me feel good. Like, I can't even sit down and watch one episode. Like, it's just
Boredom sets
too,
in?
Like, yeah.
I'm the same way though too. Like I get so bored. I'm like I think of all the things that I could be doing instead of sitting there. I don't even watch movies.
Yeah.
I'm like Tom's like just sit, and I'm like I can't.
I know.
I just can't sit.
I have to
know.
be, like, in a movie theater to, like, watch it.
I might
Because
fall
I'm
asleep
forced to.
even in a movie. I'm like
I know.
I'm just not. I don't know.
Yeah.
You?
For me, it's challenged me. Like, as much as I'm like doing other things, am I putting that equal time or even more into, you know, filling myself up with, you know, whether it's the word or a message or
Even worship.
prayer, you know, like
Yeah.
is that I'm examining my own life. Are those two things like what's the ratio to that?
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
when I hear this, it's almost like a challenge. Like, all right, let's take some inventory. Because I do want to move mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do
Praise
I.
God.
And I'm not yet.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I'm the same way. I'm
Yeah.
not, I don't claim to have it going on.
No.
But I want mountains to move.
Me too.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
I'm tired of the same old, knowing that it can happen,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yet not
Yeah,
experiencing
same.
it
Right,
to the level and
exactly.
the degree that I want it to.
Right.
I mean, it's so invigorating to see things come to pass. Like we just had a woman come, and we hear this all the time, but I want to see it on a grander scale. But we just had a lady who started coming here December. She's going to come to you and talk to you, Tracy. But December 23rd of last year, she was told by her doctor she had stage 4 cancer. It was 6 inches long in her body. December 23rd.
Wow.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, no
That's what
kidding.
exactly I thought. I'm like, Merry Christmas.
Wow.
Stage 4 cancer. She's come up every single Sunday since that. She's basically done nothing. Believed that God was going to heal her body. And she just got the report last week. Not this week. Last week. Cancer is completely gone. It's a miracle. They can't. The 6 inches gone. Can't explain it.
Praise God. Thank you,
Nothing.
Jesus.
She just knew. She's
Yeah.
like, I just knew.
Yeah.
And she goes, I just kept coming up and standing in agreement with Pastor Tom. He laid hands on me every Sunday when he was doing it. Every Sunday that he
Awesome.
had
Good for her.
That's really cool.
the opportunity to lay hands. She goes, I was there.
Amen.
Yeah.
There is something about that. Like when people post like, hey, can you pray for me? I'm not doing good. I'm like, come here. Like if I was sick, I would be at a church. As much as I possibly can, putting myself in the environment and the atmosphere that is clearly anointed, and just there would be no excuses from me.
Yep.
Like, and I would be better. So,
100%.
so I'd preventatively in worship expect to
Yep.
be healed, even if I don't
Yeah.
know something's going on. But like, no excuses anymore. If you're
Right.
sick, do what she did.
Yep.
Look at
well,
that.
it's just like there's another woman in our church that was told that she was going to have to go through radiation. I don't know. The treatments were like 15 plus treatments or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And she just came to us like a month ago. And that she didn't want the treatments. She was standing in faith. I am not getting these treatments.
Yeah.
But even though she ended up having to get them, she never relented on, I don't want these treatments and I don't want these treatments. I want to be healed.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was like her 3rd or 4th treatment in, something like that. The doctors came to her and said, your cancer's gone.
It's amazing.
We can't give you any radiation because it's
right.
gone.
Right.
So
Praise
we're
God.
done.
So
Yeah.
good. I love that.
So
what do
she
they
just
call-
didn't quit.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah.
They label that spontaneous remission.
Yeah.
Is what they call it.
Right. Because they have no
Because
name.
they can't like
Yeah.
There's no
explain
way
it.
you're given 15
Yeah.
treatments and
But
all
they
of a
have to.
sudden
They
have
after
gotta
a
say
small
something.
amount.
explain it.
Right.
Explain
It's not
why.
God.
And so that's the label they. It's like no, let's give honor to.
Where honors
we
due.
all know.
Yep. Yeah, we
you know,
do.
like
It's because what happened is even in the midst of her feeling like she might have failed,
Right.
She
Right.
didn't give up.
Right.
She didn't quit, and she kept moving on with her
Persevered.
faith.
Amen.
And she said, "You know what? I don't like this, but
Right.
I'm not giving up on
Right.
what I know to be true."
Right.
And that's huge.
Yes. That's what
I mean,
I'm
that's
talking
just
about.
huge.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's amazing.
that's
I love those
the
people.
thing. I know, and
Keep
that's
them
the
here.
reason why you don't binge watch.
Exactly.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the reason why you don't do it, because you don't get to experience those things.
Right.
Right.
If you do, because you have nothing to pull from. Super
Yep.
important.
Yep.
So let us.
Oh, we have good news. This is from Heather.
What?
Oh, yes.
She can have wings. It's soft.
I know.
Are you
Can I
happy or
have
what?
chicken
Oh, I
tenders?
just jacked
Probably not
myself up.
excited.
Okay, you got a second.
I know.
So yeah, you can have your wings. Praise the Lord. So what wings are you getting?
What flavor?
Get them ordered.
gosh.
Get them on Uber Eats real quick.
Spicy garlic.
Yeah? No? Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's do this.
Okay.
Let's do sponsor time. Laura Kellen and the Real Estate Appraisal Associates of Southwest Florida Inc. has been in business since 2005, and she is a Florida State certified residential appraiser and has been for 24 years. She has 3 locations: Lakewood Ranch, Port Charlotte, and Tampa, and she can assist almost anyone, anywhere. She is one of the most trusted appraisal companies in Southwest Florida and has done approximately 10,000 appraisals and are approved by over 300 banks, lenders, and government entities all over the United States. Her company does appraisals for just about everything: residential properties for up to 4 units. They work with FEMA using the 50% rule, settling estates, probate situations, inherited properties where the heir or heirs are not local and need the appraisal for their attorney, step-up and basis appraisal for capital gains taxes, and they also provide assistance in selling properties. If you get an appraisal, you can sell your house that much faster, and there's a $50 discount if you tell her that the Hope Hotline sent you. Hold on one momento. My AC guy, because my AC is out at my house, is asking if I'm at the church or if I'm at home.
Okay.
At the church, Tom is home and waiting for you.
You can call now at 941.
Shah! Don't you say my number.
No, not yours. Hers.
I'm finishing it for you. I'm doing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Give out Hope's phone.
Not
I
give out your
thought
phone
she was
number.
about to give out Tom's number.
No.
Gosh.
Like, please don't do that.
I mean, that could
No,
be
no,
interesting. Talia would never.
No.
Oh my
Not
gosh.
that dumb.
No, she's not.
Well, I don't know. When you got your wisdom teeth taken out, something might have gone with
That's
it.
true. That's true.
wisdom.
Your wisdom's gone.
Well, I kept
I don't know.
an extra one.
Yeah,
so.
that's
You took a
true.
little- yeah, that is true. She kept a little bit. She may have some because she kept her one wisdom
Little
tooth.
baby
The
one.
5th wisdom tooth she kept.
Oh, so there it is.
It does happen. Let's go to our next sponsor, Hanson Automotive. He has been in business for 7 years. I talked to him. He can do pretty much everything,
Yeah.
even your engine.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
I don't know why he'd want to do that, but
I know. It's
that's
a lot.
terrible. That's terrible. But from your brakes to your oil, to your engine, to your tires, to your whatever. I don't know.
Everything.
I don't think he does transmissions, but I know he does ACs because he's done mine.
Perfect.
Yes. So if you need anything full of integrity and character, he is the man, and I would use him. And everybody in the peanut gallery, except for Talia. I don't know Talia.
He's done my car.
Okay, so he's
Yeah.
done Talia's car.
Yep.
Talia's a new
Yep.
driver, though.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
he's even worked on Talia's.
Yes.
So everybody on the peanut gallery, including me, we all use him
All the time.
and we love him.
Yes,
and
we do.
he is great.
He is great.
So even if you live in Sarasota, drive
Yeah.
because there's nothing, it's worth.
Get it
It's-
towed. Just do it.
Yeah, it's worth
so
having
worth
somebody
it.
not cheat you.
Absolutely. And he won't just like put you on the back burner either. Like he will do the best that he can as quickly as possible. And I appreciate that because
Oh
who
my
wants
gosh,
to drive a
yes.
rental car and then, it's such a pain in the butt. So
Oh, it is.
he went
It
above
is.
and beyond for us all the time for all of our vehicles, work vehicles, trucks, everything.
Yeah, because he
So,
does businesses.
He does everything.
So if
know.
you own a business, he does the work vehicles for businesses as well.
Right.
So, but I'm just saying that I don't. You would say, well, you know him. That's the reason why. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
everybody that I know that uses him,
Jack, yeah.
that aren't friends with him,
Yeah.
feel the same way. He does the same quality work.
100%.
So if you are listening to this, because most people are not live, and I
Right.
just realized that. So for Laura Keller, you're going to put that back up so I can give her
Yes.
her phone number.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for Hanson Automotive,
okay.
that's okay.
Okay.
Hanson Automotive, he's out of Inglewood, Florida, actually more Placida. But his number, 941-460-3962. If you are listening, you can't see what we're doing, but
Sure.
I'm going to give you his number again, 941-460-3962, Hanson Automotive. And then Laura Keller's Real Estate Appraisal Company, it's Real Estate Appraisal Associates of Southwest Florida. Her number is 941-743-3700. One more time, 941-743-3700. And I was just thinking of this the other day.
Yeah, that's
We have more people that listen than actually watch.
yeah, that's a great point.
So
Good
how are they
call.
going to know?
Well,
I give
if
the
it was
number.
me, what I would do, I was been like, "What's her name? Laura Keller." Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah,
look
that's
that up,
true.
and then I would.
Yeah.
God
and
bless.
If I was like, if it was me, but
Not
But
everyone's
not
you.
everyone thinks like
not
you.
everybody thinks
yeah.
like me. But like, if you're like, oh, I really need an appraisal, that's the woman I'm gonna use. I would trust the resource that's coming from, and just do
Yeah.
a quick little Google search. So, but if you don't think like me, now you have it. Now you're
Yeah.
good to go.
100%. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Still, the AC
He's-
guy's
he's
wanting
still
me to
figuring
come
out.
to Trish's room.
Okay. Soon.
He's also here. Like, again, our AC guy, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Doesn't come to our church, but goes above and beyond.
Yeah, that's great.
So, need a
Especially
good AC
AC.
guy, let me know. I can
Yeah.
help you out with that too. So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's great. I mean, it's so funny because lots of people move here and they don't know who to contact. But we are blessed because our church is
Oh my
full
gosh.
of electricians and
Everything.
plumbers
Yeah.
and real estate agents and you name it, we got it.
Right.
Contractors.
Yep. Or they use
Retirement
people.
planning.
Leak detectors,
Handyman,
restoration.
generators.
all of that. Well, he's also a handyman / electrician.
Yep.
Like he knows. That's when I say electricians, I was thinking Derek.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
He does. He's multi-talented.
He
and
is.
Got
skilled.
that right.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Trying to do
What?
something. I'm gonna make a clip of that and send it to him. I don't know what else to do.
Warm that crock pot.
Yep.
Yep.
Moving on.
Yes.
I'm going to get in trouble again.
What? Never. Not you.
I live in that state sometimes. We got 3 minutes. I'm going to try and do this one really quickly without doing a disservice to this question. Matthew 16:23 says, "Why does Jesus? I will wait." The AC guy. I will wait.
I will
Let me thumbs up that for him really quick. Don't you just love the most professional podcast there is? On
I
the
do.
face of the
I
earth?
love this.
Matthew 16:23 says, "Why does Jesus call Peter Satan instead of just explaining to him that he was wrong? Was Satan actually influencing Peter, or was it just his carnality?" No, actually, Satan was influencing Peter, believe it or not, and Jesus knew that. And at different times, we do too. We are. I'm not, but you are. Just saying. But actually, people, even Christians can actually, and we're going to see this in Scripture, but Christians can actually, their doubt and unbelief can be provoked through Satan, and you need to call that out and rebuke it. But that's good for everybody, right? It's good for you because you're seeing something, and it's good for them because they need to realize what they are working for the adversary, which Satan, enemy, all of those words all mean adversary. Okay. Matthew 16:23 says, "But he turned and said to Peter, 'Get behind me, Satan. You are an offense to me. For you are not mindful of the things of God, but the things of men.'" And Matthew 16:23 in the Amplified Classic is really good. It says, "But Jesus turned away from Peter and said to him, 'Get behind me, Satan. You are in my way, an offense and a hindrance and a snare to me. For you are minding what partakes not of the nature and quality of God, but of men.'"
It's good.
That's very good.
Yep.
And that is true. So Satan in the study Bible says it is a loan word from Hebrew meaning adversary or accuser. And then in the King James, Mark 8:33 says, but he turned around, which is all the same thing because the Gospels usually repeat the same stories, right? So Mark tells the story but when he had turned around and looked at his disciples, he rebuked Peter, saying, get behind me, Satan, for you are not mindful of the things of God, but the things of men. He was very carnal, but when I dug deeper, it wasn't like Satan entered into him or anything like that. It wasn't like the serpent. It wasn't like Judas, but he was a tool of Satan's and the beliefs, because what he was trying to do is Peter was, for his love for Christ, was trying to keep him from accomplishing what Christ had come to do, his mission. And I truly believe if Satan actually knew that by the redemption of the cross, that the crucifixion of Jesus on the cross, that would be the redemption for us all, Satan would have made sure it never happened.
Yeah.
But he didn't know. He's not all-knowing, and people forget that. He really didn't know. I mean, if he had, it would be a whole different story. He would have done things way differently, I believe. Study Bible for 833 says, for the word Satan, it says, Peter's attempt to dissuade Jesus from going to the cross contained the same temptation Satan gave at the outset of Jesus' ministry in Matthew and Luke, which it did, to receive the kingdoms of the earth without following through on God's plan of salvation. So Jesus severely rebuked him because Satan had already tried, and now Peter was being used the same way. So let me read them. Okay, so I'm reading what my notes were because I went through and I looked. Some scholars do believe that Peter was being used by Satan, even though he didn't realize it. Peter did not realize what he was doing. Peter was actually, like I said, loved the Lord and didn't want to see him go through the crucifixion and dying on the cross or being put through what he was going to be put through. But through that process, it was still a stumbling block because if you remember right, Jesus really didn't want to do it either. And that's why he sweated blood. But having somebody kind of listen, when I was in sin, when people were like justifying or just saying, it's okay, you don't have, I gravitated to those people because I'm like, they're enabling my bad behavior. Right. And Jesus couldn't afford that, especially from somebody. Peter was one of his three. You had James and John and Peter, and he really couldn't afford for him to take that perspective on things, because the closer you are to somebody, the more of an influence they have on you. Does that make sense, ladies?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's being very carnal, and let me think. What I said about this too is we do the same things. When we don't call things out, sometimes, like even in the Christian realm, we can have friends and loved ones, again, embrace things that aren't the greatest things for us. And so they're carnal. And what we need to do, I remember Andrew Wommack telling a story of his mom and his family going off on this trip. And his son started getting sick and catching a cold. And his mom kept saying to him, she's Baptist, so she kind of didn't believe like they did. Mm-hmm. She kept saying to him, Andy, he's catching a cold. And he kept saying, no, he's not. And he kept praying and kept rebuking that cold. And finally, after like 24 hours of his son not feeling well, his mom goes, just face it. He's getting sick. Because she was... Yeah. And he barked at her and said, shut up in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you, Satan.
Wow.
Yeah, because he was standing that strong. Right. And he was like, I'm not listening to this demonic talk anymore. I'm believing opposite of this. Yeah. Shut up. Right. Doubt and unbelief and anything that would hinder, because anything that hinders what the word of God says isn't of the word. It isn't of God. So if it ain't of God, it's
Correct.
anti that. And so he was calling it out. Now, his mom did not talk to him for about 24 to 48 hours. And they were best friends. She didn't. And he finally said, I'm sorry, but like, you're not, his son ended up not getting sick.
Right. Amen.
Everything turned around. But you have to be that serious with your walk.
Yep.
You have to, like, if there's an influence in your life, if there's somebody that might allow some kind of compromise, or it's why it's super careful if you are walking through healing, if you are standing for financial breakthrough. Or if you have a dream that God has given you, he's birthed it inside of you, and a vision that he wants you to, perform, a dream that he wants you to carry out. Be very careful who you say those things to, because there will be Peters in your life, and you don't need that. What you need is somebody who's going to push you and propel you forward and say all the things that God is saying to you and everything that the Word says. Okay, that's what you need to have rallying behind you, because the thing is, people will be carnal, but Satan is very cunning, and he comes as
Absolutely.
it's not a spirit of light. What is it called? He comes an angel of light.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean that your friends are filled with Satan.
Right.
It just means in those moments, they're acting on the behest of him.
Yep.
And you have to be careful of that. So what do you guys say? And then we'll be scooting down the road.
What I love about this story is that because Jesus corrected Peter, he eventually became, Jesus said, I will build my rock. You're the rock. I'm
I
going
will
to build my church
upon this rock.
upon this rock.
And Peter means rock.
Yeah. And so, like, he was able to, like, be corrected and then, like, make a change. And eventually, he was the rock that Jesus built his church on.
He is the name.
Yeah.
He is his
Very
name.
cool.
What are you thinking, Sarah?
Before he was Peter, though, he was Simon, which means something totally different. And it's like a wavering back and forth. And so Jesus said, no, we're not calling you that anymore. We're going to call you Peter.
Because names mean things.
Things are important.
And he does that for us. He tells us, no, this is your new identity now. This is who you are.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Absolutely. Thank God for that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank God for that.
Yes.
I had a girlfriend who God, she felt like God had changed her name. Now, she had everybody call her that, but when she thought of herself, she thought of the new name that God had given her. And she would only tell very few people, because people think you're crazy.
Right.
She would only tell people, she's like, you know what? God gave me this name, and this name means this. And I'm like, how sweet and powerful is that that the
Yeah,
Lord
That's so cool.
would do that for you? Because her name actually meant nothing.
Yeah.
But then it meant
Wow.
something. You
That's
know,
really
I think
cool.
that's the dearest and sweetest thing.
Yes.
And but I agree. And he did that with pretty much all the disciples had some kind of change. Do you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's so great.
Yep.
Yeah.
So great.
Really
So
good.
it's just like King Nebuchadnezzar changed the names of all of like Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. What you do is you take their identity from them.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that can be a good thing or that can be a bad thing. Mm-hmm. But even when their identity was taken from them, they flourished.
Yep.
So,
Amen.
Sean said he learned that on The Chosen.
learned what on The Chosen?
I don't know. That was
Just after what you said.
Yeah.
About Peter?
About Peter. Yeah.
Oh, so is that where you learned it, Vanessa,
Yeah.
from The Chosen?
Yeah, it's probably.
Listen, I've only watched the first season, so I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Could have been from reading your Bible.
I could maybe.
Maybe.
Definitely not binge watching. That's for sure.
So good.
But it's a beautiful thing. Well, we will
Yes.
see you on Sunday, and have a great weekend. And hopefully it won't rain. I'm sick of the rain.
I'm so sick of the rain.
So sick of the rain. Like, go away. Rain, rain.
Sarah's not
Go away.
not sick of the rain.
Every single day.
I know. It's a
I
lot.
like the rain. I don't like the water retention that
I
we're
know.
having. Like
I know.
I
It's
go on a
wild.
walk and there's like
Yeah.
a pond.
My
everywhere I
chickens.
look with like.
I feel
Poor
bad for my
alive.
chickens.
I know. Poor chickens.
Yeah,
I'm over it.
Yeah, me too.
but I do love the rain.
I'm sick of the rain.
could use less
You can have it.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean,
Not everybody.
obviously we need it.
Right, we
But
do.
in moderation.
Right, not extreme. Like
Everything in moderation.
correct, everything, including rain.
Except for Aussie. Acai bowls.
We'll see you on Sunday. If you don't have a church home, watch us live on Foundation Church FL. Well, whatever that is, blackrobetv.com. Sorry about that.
Rumble.
You can
find
actually
all the
go
spot.
to our website and then
Yes.
watch live from there. That's what I was thinking.
You
Let's go to
definitely
Black
can.
Robe, though.
Yep, Black Robe.
We're also on Rumble.
Rumble.
But better yet,
Yes.
enter his courts with thanksgiving.
Yes.
Into the house of the Lord.
Amen.
If you want to hear a great, phenomenal worship team, anointed,
So good.
yes, excellent worship team.
Really
great.
are.
They work really hard
Yes, they do.
and anointed, and then a phenomenal message
Yes.
from my man,
Yeah.
my main squeeze. Always works hard on that. So good message, and then good company. You won't meet anybody better than the people that attend this church. I'm just telling you. Make some friends. Fellowship is important. But I'm just saying, like, for me, I was just saying this to somebody. They were talking to me about this. Like, they felt at home when they walked into this church. They were just telling me this week. And I've never met people like what we have
Me either.
at this church.
Same.
And there's nobody that's not welcome.
Right.
And there's no one that I don't think anybody's ever told me they felt like an outcast here.
Yeah.
Like everybody's felt like there's no like cliques, no nothing. So,
Join in.
and if they did feel like there was one, well, maybe you need to come to a hub or something like that.
Yeah,
You might feel
right.
welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. Plug
Other
in.
than that, plug in because I think everybody does, but you'll make some great friends and you will grow in your walk. So be here on Sunday. We love you and we thank you for watching. See you on Wednesday. Bye.